I guess as hi guys, welcome to the Azure well architected framework series. In this video, we'll be talking about operational excellence pillar. I think as professionals across the board, multiple industries, we all agree that people are hard. So I don't know if this means my team members or if this is my team member actually saying it to me, but that's literally what it is. Right, cool. So in operational excellence, effectively what we're talking about is collaboration and continuous improvement culture, right? When we have issues in production, how do we handle it? What is the team culture around that, right? Do we blame each other? Do we blame the guy who wrote the feature, or what happens, right? Does the business person in the team, let's say for example the scrum master or whatever, do they come and bash the whole dev team or the testers, or what is it, right? If we play the blame game kind of thing, it becomes an issue, right? So what that point actually talks about is collaboration should be done with tools that we use, no TikTok, no FaceTime kind of thing. If it's your standard and you guys agree with it, so be it, you can use it, but have a formal communication channel that you all agree to use as a team, right? And I talked about improvements, right? Whenever we have issues, take that as a learning curve or have learnings out of it, right? Post incident reviews shouldn't be a blame kind of exercise. It should be an exercise that allows people to learn from whatever that happened, right? And remember to that standard add predictability to operations. So what that effectively means is standardize your processes along the way, right? Do not be afraid of creating standards. What this will actually do is improve or allow you to scale the process that you use, right? Quality gates in terms of core automation tests. I think when I say that, people actually go there, right? But if you have manual tests, what are the quality gates that you have? If a QA says, cool, this thing doesn't meet quality, or business owner, product owner says, this product doesn't meet quality, what happens, right? Have clear defined quality gates. Where possible, eliminate human interaction, try automate those kind of processes. Usually, I think with our industry, we have been able to do this with automated tests, Selenium and Jests, and there's a lot of them, right? I won't go through that list. Finally, I'm talking about tracking progress. Have a single bot that essentially have all your tasks, all your stories, and the progress. One tool that actually allows you to track the progress of the particular project, right? It is important because if you have separate Trellos and GitHub boards and all of that, and as your boards all at the same time, it doesn't uh, promote effective collaboration within the team, right? The other point is for operational excellence, you need to make that data-driven decisions, right? At the beginning of the product, what you do as a product owner is you investigate to say, cool, what we are looking for is uh, 10,000 customers for argument's sake, and this is how they're going to use the system. And the login page for argument's sake is the most important page because every user is going to go through it, right? When you do that, you need to actually, that's the data you've collected, but there's additional data in terms of, cool, where is our drop of rate? What is our drop of rate? Where are users dropping off? What workload in the system actually is mostly used? That will help you to identify bottlenecks and all of those type of things, so that you can preemptively or proactively actually fix or prioritize those kind of flows, right? Priority flows, you will have a bunch of requirements from a security perspective, from efficiency, from the idea of how fast, how well do we fix bugs around those kind of things, how much testing do we invest in these things, right? Then the final part that I'm going to make in this kind of regard is you need to have alerts that actually are actionable, right? If you have a lot of alerts that just fire off and does not actually give a lot of purpose, you have now issues where people are actually just sending those to the garbage bin immediately. So have alerts that actually prompt people to do something about it, not just mind dumps that people don't refer to, right? And we talk about predictable deployments. This is at its core, when you use cloud computing infrastructures, code becomes key, right? Because you can basically deploy over and over. You know how the deployment process works, you know that it's accurate. You eliminate as much as possible human interaction, where you automate most of the things so that you can have that predictability, right? Safeguard your deployment artifacts, application binaries, and infrastructure as code templates, right? So as you automate stuff, be able to make sure that whatever that you deploy in the packages, infiltrators do not get to this particular artifacts or application binaries, because if they corrupt those, they can effectively corrupt your uh, production environment. Right, cool. Then the last point is minimize the effect of errors and unexpected conditions. So what that effectively entails is codify your thing, as I mentioned, codify your deployment processes, codify some of the processes or manual processes that are repeated in a project, kind of figure out which ones are more important, then kind of automate those with the highest return on investments, right? The other thing that I can mention in this particular pillar that is key is gradually roll out your updates, right? Do not just deploy the solution to production and hope for the best. You need to be able to predict what is going to happen with that deployment, right? If there's a marketing drive in your company for the solution and it's in the middle of that particular launch period, if you make deployments, you kind of need to make sure that you don't interrupt people that are seeing your solution for the first time, right? So that's why we encourage gradual updates to the system, in a sense that you can do green blue deployment kind of thing. You can expose features to a subset of users, right? Then you increase the percentage. Say for example, on deployment, 10% of the traffic is going to come through the new updated version, right? As and when it happens, when we can see from the insights and visibility that I spoke about, we can then gradually increase what you call the traffic coming into the new instance until we finally decommission the old instance, right? How do we achieve this kind of things? Things like feature flagging are very important, right? You can easily decouple your deployments from your releases, right? So feature flagging are very powerful. They can allow you to basically switch off a feature if it has bugs. They allow you to kind of control traffic as well. Those kind of things you can do with some feature flagging tools. Alerts, I kind of mentioned them already. Visibility in production. Does your team not see production? Production is only handled by ops and all those kind of things. For a well-architectured framework, we actually encourage that the team should have visibility, right? So that they can have the sense of ownership and be able to quickly identify issues, quickly prioritize issues, and quickly resolve those particular issues, right? Visibility across the system. If you have logs that are dispersed across your microservices, it's hard to actually debug that kind of setup, right? So you need a monitoring tool or a tracing tool that allows you to see the transaction end to end, right? Think about the call center agent, for argument's sake, that will be handling a customer's request, and they can't literally see the full transaction of call. Did their payment go through or did their payment not go through? If that kind of question is not, it's unanswered to them, then they can't really fulfill the request of the customer at that particular point. So that's why you kind of need to have a full end-to-end view of your uh, transactions, right? App Insights is very good with this, but if you want additional kind of stuff, we've seen people having correlation ID patterns being implemented to actually trace the transaction, or being able to query out the traces for a particular transaction that happened on the system. Cool. Uh, Thank you very much. Then the next title or the next pillar that we will be going through is performance. Then after that, we'll go to reliability. You guys have had a sneak peek of that already. Have a good one.